Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in film, Devin. And today, we're here to give our most anticipated series, our most anticipated television shows of 2024. If you have not checked out our most anticipated films of 2024 episode, definitely check that out. We did that about a week, maybe about a week and a half ago, as of now that it's February. But definitely go check out that episode. It was a lot of fun. Me and Devin kind of just dissected our top 10 films that we are most anticipating for this year of 2024. And before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. Or you can email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, we're getting a nice Thursday rhythm here. Thursday recording day.
I know it's nice. You know, it's nice because it's at the end of the week, but it's not Fridays because it's like, you know, we got stuff to do and whatnot. You know, we got lives to live. But how has your week been, man? Did you do anything fun this past weekend, or did you kind of just chill out?
Yeah, another one of those chill weekends. Getting ready for the Super Bowl here in a couple days.
Oh boy, who's your money on? You betting anyone? Come on,
I have money on the Chiefs.
That's a smart bet.
That's where the money's at.
It is. It really is where the money is. I totally agree. I'm also rooting for the Chiefs because I have family in Kansas City. And also, I'm not sure if you know this, Devin. I'm sure you're aware, but just in case, you know, us being Steelers fans and the 49ers are in Super Bowl. So the one thing that the 49ers and the Steelers both have in common is that we both have 6 Super Bowl rings. And we can't let the 49ers be the first team in NFL history to hit 7 rings. It is our journey to the Stairway of 7, the Steelers, that will get that 7th ring. So we are rooting for the Kansas City Swifties all the way through. Are you with me?
Yeah, until the Chiefs just keep winning and then they get to 7.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And actually, I think the Niners have 5.
The 49ers have 5?
I think so.
I thought they had 6 for some reason. Hold on. I'm going to check this. You're right. They do have 5. I have misspoken. But still, that means, okay, everything that I said about obviously us both having 2.
It still stands.
It still stands. Everything still stands because we can't have another. We already have, let's see, I'm 100% sure that the Patriots have 6. That is for sure. I know the Cowboys either have 5 or 6.
Yeah, only the Patriots and Steelers have 6. Tom Brady has 7, unfortunately.
Yeah, Tom Brady himself is, yeah. But other than that, have you been playing any video games or have you been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith at all? Because I want to get into it. I just haven't started it yet. I've been finishing up my second playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2 remastered, trying to get that platinum trophy, and I'm 1 trophy away. All I have to do is beat the game again.
Yeah, I've been playing through Power World still whenever I find some spare time, and then also I have been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think I'm 5 episodes in.
Wow, look at you.
It's been really good so far.
Okay, all good things, all good things.
It was actually going to be an honorable mention of mine, but it's already out, so it's not really what's anticipated. I guess I'm anticipating the last few episodes.
That is true, yeah. Because for honorable mentions for sure, but you know, we'll leave the honorable mentions for something that we know is coming out this year. We just don't have like a concrete release date. But for those who are tuning in, you know, as I said before, we're going to get into our most anticipated TV series of 2024, much like we did with our anticipated films of 2024. This time around, it's going to be a little bit different. We're just going to be giving our top 5 series or most anticipated series of 2024 because Series work or TV shows in general work a little bit different than movies. Usually with movies, you have like a solid concrete release date throughout the rest of the year. There are a few movies that pop up here and there that, for marketing purposes, but for TV, there's so much out there, and we're going off of the Entertainment Weekly article that is your guide to 2024 TV premiere dates. So it has everything from January all the way up until June 16th. So that's about halfway through the year. Not even really, because it's one show that's showing for June, and that's the 77th annual Tonys. So we don't know everything, but what we're going to do is give our top 5 anticipated series. But before we do that, we're going to give a few honorable mentions of shows that we know that are coming out this year, but we don't have a release date. So we're just going to dive straight on in. And this is like the beginning of our little TV journey. So I'm going to pass it over to Devin so he can give his honorable mentions before we get into our top 5. So Devin, take it away.
Yeah, my honorable mentions, as I mentioned before, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's off to a great start. It's a very sleek, smart spy thriller. May even end up being better than the movie.
Really?
Definitely so far. We'll see how it ends up wrapping up, but really like what they're doing with that. It's just kind of super, just feels really like sly and like original, especially since it's based on that movie. But other than that, I have to mention my guilty pleasure coming out on Valentine's Day. We have good old Love is Blind, season 6.
Oh,
already 6 seasons deep. So yeah, if you got a significant other and you want to sit down and watch some cringeworthy reality TV show, then you got that ready on Valentine's Day.
Okay. No, I like how you add in things that I would never really even think of.
Gotta mix things up.
You really, yeah, I agree. Because I feel like I watch a lot of TV, but there's also things that I still need to get to because I'm terrible. I've been, my life has been taken up by The Last of Us altogether. It just looks so gosh darn good in the PlayStation 5. But I told myself I was going to get the Platinum because all my trophies transferred over from the original PS4 version to the PS5 version. And I never got around to platinuming it on the PlayStation 4. And I was like, well, let me do it this time. So I got the part 1 platinum, and now I can get the part 2 platinum. So I'm almost done with the game. Then I think I am going to start Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So for my honorable mentions, before we get into our top 5, I have 2. The first one is House of the Dragon Season 2. We know that it's supposed to hit this summer, 2024. We don't have a solid release date yet. I'm sure it will be coming up within the next coming months. I'm assuming maybe June, July, possibly even August. I feel like a lot of people kind of forget that August is also a summer month. Just depending on where you live, you actually might get fall weather during the summer months if you live in Ohio, because it starts to get a little cool in the month of August. But House of the Dragon, I feel like it's going to be an August release date because that will carry them into the fall season. In August, September, October, those were a lot of like big TV shows also start their premiere. So I'm guessing August 2024. But right now it's just summer 2024. My second honorable mention is Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that will be streaming on Paramount Plus this summer. This is actually something that got announced today as of February 8th, 2024. So they kind of announced a teaser trailer, did not give a date. They just said it's coming out again this summer, 2024. So those are 2 series that we are looking forward to, or at least that I'm looking forward to, that do not have a concrete release date. But let's start out with our number 5 most anticipated series of 2024. Devin, what is your number 5?
Yeah, my number 5 is one that I had heard of, but it was not really on my radar. I don't really know too much about it. It is coming out very soon. It comes out looks like February 27th, coming out on FX. It is a show called Shogun.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but I think reviews recently just started coming out, and they've been very good so far.
I have heard of it because it is also on my list. And that is actually my number 5 as well.
Perfect. I mean, basically, I see my guy Hiroyuki Sanada, and I'm basically in. I mean, he was obviously John Wick Chapter 4, Bullet Train, Mortal Kombat, as Scorpion. Like, he's just a legend at this point. So, definitely got my attention.
Yeah, and I believe I think you'll be able to watch it through Hulu, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, all FX stuff goes to Hulu.
Through Hulu. Oh, yeah, the bear. Okay, yeah, I gotcha, yeah. But yeah, my number 5 was also Shogun. I'm very excited for this. I love everything feudal Japan. Like, honestly, just give me anything with samurais, ninjas, action. I'm there. And I've actually wanted to check out the Warrior season or series that's on HBO. It did get canceled, unfortunately, but there's, I think, 3 good seasons of television I feel like I'm missing out on. Even though I know it's canceled, I still want to experience that. So when I saw it, I was like, man, Shogun looks really awesome. And yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, there you go. Just knocked out number 5, just like that.
I know. Wow, look at us. We're making time. We're 12 minutes into the podcast, at least of recording here. So let's move on to our number 4. So Devin, what is your number 4 pick?
Yeah, I'm guessing our number 4 will not be matching. But I was looking through the list. I was like, all right, I gotta make some choices here. So I saw one that caught my eye. Another one that I don't know too much about, but it is also coming out very soon. It's a Netflix one. It comes out, looks like February 15th, so literally in 1 week from recording this. But it is the Vince Staples Show.
Okay.
Vince Staples, obviously famous rapper. Looks like he's getting his own show. The description is kind of famous and sort of rich. Rapper and actor Vince Staples navigates the challenges and surprises of everyday life in his hometown of The Beach. This is kind of like building off of momentum. Obviously on FX, there's been a lot of success of rappers turning into writers / directors and having their own shows. Obviously with Atlanta, what Donald Glover accomplished on that show he's always been top notch. And then Dave with Lil Dicky and everything he's done on that show has just been really top tier television. So kind of hoping we get something similar here where we get a nice rapper turned television show and it works out.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. And I still need to watch Dave. I still need to watch Atlanta. There's shows that I just haven't seen.
FX is really where it's at.
Yeah, it took me a while to watch The Bear, but I was like, I got to get on that. I still have to watch Only Murders in the Building. It's just, like I said, a lot of my time has been taken up by Tlu remastered. And, just everything else that we do here on the podcast as well. So it's like, yeah, all those shows, I literally just want to not like blow through, but like, I want to take my time, but like I want to get through them in a comfortable fashion. And I feel like I will at some point. It just gotta, I just got to start, it's like, it's so tough. But my number 4 is going to be the Fallout series that's coming out April 12th on Prime Video.
We have more perfect synergy here. That's my number 3.
Oh, it looks really good.
The trailer was very good.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see a resurgence in video game adaptations, not as necessarily movies, because I've seen a lot of those, and a lot of those have not been as great. Some have been pretty decent. I mean, I would say probably if you're going by numbers, the Mario movie is probably the most financially successful movie that is based off of a video game. But the Fallout series looks really interesting. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Because with The Last of Us, I've already known that story. We've already known that story. We're just seeing the same characters and the same story play out in a different medium. With Fallout, it's always been this open sandbox, like choose your own adventure RPG type of a video game. So I'm interested to see how they turn this into a series. And I think that they can. I think that they can make up their own story with it. And yeah, I think Todd Howard was like also heavily involved in this series. So that is my number 4. And you said this was also your number 3, which is awesome.
Yeah, so that means it is now your turn again for number 3.
Oh boy, gosh, look at me. So right now, it's going to be. Actually, this was announced today. It is the Knuckles TV show that is streaming on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah, fresh off the presses.
April 26th is the series premiere, and we got a little teaser trailer today, and it looks amazing. I was like, wow.
I actually did not watch the trailer.
Honestly, Devin, could have fooled me. I thought it was a movie. And they use the same assets as they did from the Sonic 2 movie, and there's no degrading in quality. Like, how you get like the TV version of some people, and then like, oh, well, this is the movie version and the production's higher. Like the production is like staying the same across, and Sonic's in it. So it looks pretty awesome. And I'm very excited. Of course, Idris Elba coming back. This is supposed to be tying into that universe, and we also got Sonic 3 coming out this year. I'm so excited for all of this. But yes, my number 3 is the Knuckles series coming to Paramount Plus again, April 26th. So this would be your number 2?
Number 2, getting into the big dogs.
Oh boy. Just lay it on me.
I mean, number 2, it's fitting. It's got to be Invincible Season 2, Part 2. Got all the 2s going on.
That is my number 2 as well. It's
just meant to be.
Yeah.
As annoying as it was that they had this really awful release schedule for the Invincible Season 2, I'm glad we're finally getting the Part 2 of Season 2. It really made no sense for them to split it up between the end of last year and the beginning of this year, but that's what they did, and we had to just deal with it. But it's hard not to be hyped for a story like that.
I know, yeah, and I mean, I feel the same way. We've talked about the which release schedule is better, whether you release it all at once, and I guess there's a third option, which is what a lot of television shows have actually been doing for a while, even with The Sopranos, the last season, where they split the final season into 2 parts. And I guess it's supposed to generate more buzz around what's going on. But yeah, the Invincible thing kind of, it was annoying because we got season 2, part 1 last year. And then the creators of the show made it seem like part 2 was like literally right around the corner, because they're like, oh, we're releasing it right before like the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, what have you. And they made it seem like it was coming out like January, like February. And then they're like, oh, nope, it's coming out like March 14th, like the middle of March. I'm like, that's farther away than what I expected it to come out. But, we've covered part 1 of season 2. We're definitely going to cover the second part. We got to finish what we started all together. And yeah, I'm very excited to see where the rest of this series goes, because they're releasing it. It's not like they're releasing the entire second part in once. It's like they did with part 1 of season 2. They really did a weekly release. So they're probably going to do the same thing with part 2, because I think it's 4 and 4 altogether. But can I guess your number 1?
Go ahead.
Because I think I know what it is, and I just realized that this show is also coming out this year, and I'm surprised I actually didn't put it on my list.
Yeah, it may not have a date yet, but that's okay.
But I'm guessing it's coming out after Invincible, and that is The Boys season 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
I mean, that is just top tier hype right there. Coming off of the high of Gen V and just going right into Boy season 4, like just give it to me.
Yeah, and I would add that to my list. I totally forgot about it, literally until.
To be fair, it does not have a date yet. It's just, I mean, hopefully confirmed 2024. Pretty sure it is, but we'll have to see.
I'm pretty sure it is as well. That's why it like jogs in my memory. I was like, hold on, because I was talking to somebody about Invincible, and then the boys. I was like, oh yeah. I'm assuming Invincible is going to come out first. That's in March. And then maybe April, May, or possibly June is when The Boys season 4 will hit, unless they wait until the end of the summer, over around, like August, maybe like early September. I'm not sure. But yeah, I would put that on my most anticipated or honorable mentions because, yeah, we don't really have a release date for it. But on to my number one. I'm pretty sure Devin already knows what it is. Been talking about it forever in the chat.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of anger going on right now about it. I'm surprised you can fight through it.
It's not anger. It is disappointment.
Okay.
But it is the live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, my favorite series of all time. Like, because animation is my favorite, like, genre of film, TV of all time. But yeah, there's been a lot of discourse. I feel like this is the classic case of showrunners running their mouth too much before anyone even gets a chance to see it. I'm just concerned. I can't really say it's hate, but the things that the showrunners have been saying does concern me, and it gives me a little bit more insight as to why the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Mike and Brian, have left the project. And it's weird because, it production-wise, it looks phenomenal. The casting is superb.
Yeah, from someone who has not watched the original series at all, the trailer did look pretty impressive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is top notch. I will give credit where credit is due. The trailer looks phenomenal, amazing, and phenomenal, amazing, whatever. But yeah, there's just a lot of talk where it's, what people wanted, and the people who are watching the show, most of the people watching the show are fans that grew up with the original. Now, I have to kind of put myself back into the place where I did for The Last of Us, where, obviously I'm a longtime fan of the game. Devin's also played the first game as well. But having to separate saying, hey, the original source material is always going to be there, like it was for The Last of Us. They were able to expand on things within the Last of Us universe that you're not able to do in the video game. Now, this being a television show, a live action television show, I'm just a little concerned about a few of the things that they were talking about, how Sokka's his character growth when it comes to him being basically a sexist person during the very beginning of season 1, book 1, Water. And obviously that is not okay, but it is part of his story arc. It's part of his character arc that he grows out of that, and he understands what it is to be a man who values women on the same level as him, because him being a sexist person ties into the relationship with his sister. It ties in with his relationship, or with his character of being a member of the Water Tribe, the Southern and the Northern Water Tribe, because that is a part of their culture. That's like part of their mindset, to show how backwards the Water Tribe is when it comes to that way of thinking. And it also ties into his relationship with Suki, his girlfriends, and that it's all connected where Sokka learns these lessons on how not to be a sexist pig, and that women are capable of doing everything that men can do. That is a lesson that Sokka is supposed to learn. But again, I've not seen the show yet, so I can't comment on it too much, but it's just the way that the showrunners of the live action series have been kind of running their mouths when it comes to that stuff. And there's a few other things, but I don't want to spend too much time on it because, again, we'll be here all day. But I'm just a little concerned. Hopefully it's not like completely gone, because they said that they wanted this live action adaptation to be as serious as Game of Thrones, where Aang isn't going on as many adventures. And I was like, well, I mean, it's 8 episodes. So it's like they can only do so much, and I totally understand that. But the Game of Thrones reference was weird to me, because I was like, okay, if you want the Game of Thrones viewing numbers, I understand that. But even though Game of Thrones and Avatar: The Last Airbender are both fantasy shows, it's kind of like oil and water. Like they're not two shows that I would compare when it comes to that stuff. It's weird, but yes, my number one, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm still excited for it. Don't get me wrong. It may sound like I'm like crapping on it, but again, I've not seen it, so I can't comment too much on it. But I'm definitely going to watch it, and I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because, like I said before, it looks phenomenal, leagues better than M. Night Shyamalan movie. That was man, Devin. If there was anything, did you see the live action?
Never watched it.
Oh, Devin, it is bad, but I think you should watch the original show because it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And there's a reason why it's like my favorite television series of all time, but it's great stuff for sure. But Devin, I just wanted to pass it back over to you. I know we already talked about honorable mentions. Was there any other honorable mentions that you wanted to tell our audience? Any shows that you have watched recently that you finished outside of Mr. and Mrs. Smith that people should check out?
I would definitely recommend Shrinking. I finished that up on Apple TV. That was a good one. As far as honorable mentions, I mean, it doesn't really count, but we got the Oscars coming up.
Oh, yeah. God, I always forgot about the Oscars. And you know what? Percy Jackson, season 1, just got greenlit for season 2.
Yeah, of course. Season 2, thankfully.
There was another show. There's a show that Devin and I watched that we were enthralled about. And we finally got a little bit of information that they started production on. And that is Severance season 2.
Oh yes, just little breadcrumbs here and there.
Gosh, it was. I'm telling you, one of the best twists I've ever seen in television. Towards the end, I was like, I was blown away because it's even within the show itself, it's breadcrumbs within the show of season 1 itself. And then it's like you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then, wow. Apple, congratulations on another. That's going to be their next big hit for sure. Outside of that, we did cover another honorable mention, I guess we can kind of throw out there, is Echo, which is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. Devin and I covered that as well for things that for people to watch as of right now. That we think people will get into. And of course, we did season 2 of Marvel's What If. So that's also another series that people can kind of check out all together, that at least that we can recommend. TV is a little tough here and there just because there's so much of television. And even though our main focus is film, we always love to you got to cover the shows that you love to cover all together. We used to do like weekly episodes, But that's for like the big shows. Gosh, you remember it was like what, 2 years ago? We covered, what was it? We were covering movies and covering, was it She-Hulk and House of the Dragon season 1 on a weekly basis?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
That was insane. And I was like, Devin, I can't do this. You're like, we're almost through the forest.
Just had to power through it.
Yeah. It was a great time, but it's like, wow. Yeah. Let's never cover two series weekly again. If we do, definitely it's got to be like the big show. Like I'm talking, heck, The Boys, maybe House of Dragon season 2, The Last of Us season 2, which Devin still hasn't played the second game because he doesn't have a PlayStation, but it'll come to PC eventually. I'm just like, I want to know your thoughts on that game so freaking bad because it's longer. It's about maybe 25 to 30% longer than the first game. But I genuinely think they have to split season 2 into multiple, or The Last of Us Part 2 into multiple seasons. They just have to. They have to. There's a lot that happens in that game, and there's like a perfect break in the middle where it's like, Okay, anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. That concludes our most anticipated TV series of 2024. And if you enjoyed what you heard on the podcast, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your preferred podcast platform of choice. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, all that social media garbage at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. And don't forget to share an episode of our podcast with a friend, whether it be your mother, your brother, or your significant other. Spread the love for the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. And now let's take a sneak peek at new review releases that you can listen to right now. So as of right now, you can listen to our Echo spoiler-free review. You can also listen to our Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 1 review, which we did a few days ago for you guys. You can also, again, listen to our most anticipated movies of 2024 episode and our Mean Girls review, the 2024 version, and our Argyle review, which we also reviewed here in February. And for episodes or movies that you can look forward to that we're going to be covering, we're going to be covering the Bob Marley biopic. We're also going to be covering some Madame Web, I'm assuming. I think we are.
What a February.
I know. And Devin, to top it all off, we got Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 just got my screener invite. And I'm glad that I did. So now I'm seeing it twice. Once on the 20th of February, and then 5 days later on the 25th. So we got a lot of, February's, it's picking up steam. But we're going to have one of the biggest movies of the year, like, out and done before March even hits. So I think we're going to be in some pretty good shape. I think we're going to be good. Good to go. We won't have to worry about a thing. But with all that said, thank you all for listening. If you enjoy the show, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And stay connected with us by following us again on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads for all the latest updates. That was Devin. My name is Christian, signing off. And remember, life is like a movie. So go out there and make it a blockbuster.
Peace.